Ombre nail design, and this is a color kit that we are going to show you in today's live show. It is G642, and this is our dip system. Number 1, base. Number 2, activator. Number 3, top. Number 4, brush saver. And this is the 6 beautiful nude colors from the G642. And this is the nail design that we used the color powder from G642. And this is the nail design that we are going to show you in today's live show. We mainly used the 3 colors from the color kit, G642 and G6607. 2 colors are from G642, that is number 35 and number 20. And one is the yellow glitter, number 4 from the color kit, G6607. Before we are doing today's nail design, first let me check the color powder. Open the cap. And this is number 35 from the color kit G642. As you can see, the color powder is pretty fine. And this is a yellow glitter, number 4 from the color kit G6607. It's pretty shiny. It's a glitter. Okay, in today's live show, we are going to use the real nail file to do today's nail design. First, we'll have to use this thinnest file to shape the file. Because the nail is pretty short, so today we are going to use this file to shape it into a round file. The round nails are the most versatile nail shapes, no matter the nail is short or long. And it will look good if you do some nail designs on the nail surface. And if you don't have these thin files, you can find it on our Amazon shop store. It is included on our accessory nail kit, GH10001. First, we'll use this file to shape the nails one by one. And considering the time, today we'll just do one hand of the nail design. First, our nail tag is finding the shape. As to the shape of the nails, you can try to do some round nails, square nails, and squirrel nails. These nail shapes are pretty suitable for people with short nails. And if your fingers are pretty long, then you can choose the oval nails. It will make your nail looks pretty elegant. Okay, we will just start to shape the nails of the other hand. Please pay attention to the direction of the way that our nail tag is finding the nail. As you can see, The round nail is pretty beautiful. Some people may have short nails and they don't like to keep long nails. So this kind of round nails can not only modify the shape of the hand, but also it can visually elongate the fingers and will make your hands look pretty slender. That's the biggest characteristics of the round nail shapes. And this kind of short round nails can also pretty safe. Short nails will not suffer any harm, so it can be relatively safe. Okay, we almost finished the filing of the nails. Next, we are going to use the e-file to cut the dead skin around the nail corners. Okay, finished. Let's use this kind of brush to clean the nail surface one by one. Next, we're going to use the e-file to cut the cuticle or dead skin around the corner of the nail. And this is the sharp end of the e-file. It is especially used to cut the dead skin around the nail corner. And this is the flat end of the e-file. It is used to shape the epinicium. These are the two ends that we are going to use in today's lab show. One is sharp end and the other is the flat end. First, we are going to use the sharp end to cut the dead skin around the nail corner. Okay, let's start it. Our nail tag is using this e-file with the sharp end to cut the dead skin around the nail corner and the nail gap. Cut it slightly and flatly so that you won't get your nail hurt. As you can see, this process is kind of complicated, so just pay attention to the way how our nail tag cutting the cuticle around the corner. We'll just do it one by one. Use this e-file to remove the dead skin around the corner. Filing it slightly and flatly so that you won't get your nail hurt. And if you don't have this e-file at your home, you can try to find one. Because the pre-treatment before you doing the nail design is pretty important. It can make your nail shape pretty beautiful and looks more round. And also, if you remove this dead skin of the nail surface or the cuticle, the color powder will fit well on the nail surface. Put this e-file flatly and let it cut the cuticle or dead skin naturally. Don't get your nail hurt. As to the end of such kind of an e-file, we have 3 ends of this e-file. One is sharp end and a flat end that we already showed on our today's live show, and the other hand is a round hand. The sharp end that we are using is to cut the dead skin, while the flat end is to be used to shape the aponychium and make your nail cover looks pretty and beautiful. Okay, let's turn to this thumb. We'll start from the right side of this nail. Then we are using this e-file to shape the free edge of this nail. As you can see, a lot of dead skin or cuticle are get removed with this e-file. This part is called aponychium. Do not push the e-file so strongly so that you won't get your nail base get hurt. Okay, we finished this hand. Now let's turn to this hand. Also, we start from to remove the dead skin around the aponychium. Put this e-file flatly on the nail surface. We'll just repeat the same steps as we did before. Shape the free edge of this nail, and then cut the dead skin around the nail gap. Cut it slightly and flatly. Please pay attention to the strength and the direction of this eval. The function of this process is to make your nail shape looks more round and pretty. So just keep your patience and remove the dead skin around the nail gap one by one. Remove it from the left side, from the right side to the bottom, to the upper part of the nail, and then to the left side of the nail gap. Okay, let's turn to this nail. And because we are using this eval to cut the dead skin around the nail gap, to some extent it can save you a lot of time when you are doing this at your home. So just try to get one at your home. And this process is almost finished. We only left one to be done. As you can see, a lot of dead skin are getting removed from your nail gap. So when next we are doing the nail design, the color powder will fit well on the nail surface and it won't get easily fall off. Now we are changing the end. Next we are using this flat end to shape the aponychium. This flat end is especially used for growing the shape of the aponychium. It can make your nail cover look pretty and round. It is also pretty fit to the round shapes of your nails. Let's just do it one by one. Use this eval to shape the aponychium. Put it flatly on the nail surface at an angle of less than 15 degrees so that you won't get your nail gap hurt. We'll just keep this angle and do it one by one. And please pay attention that you must not push too strong on the eval. Let's turn to this thumb. We'll start from the right side of the nail to the corner and then to the upper part of the nail gap and then to the left side of the nail. As to this hand, we'll just repeat the same steps as we did just now. Put this e-file flatly on the nail surface at an angle of less than 15 degrees. And file it slightly on the nail gap so that you won't get your nail skin hurt. When you are grind the aponychium, you should put your thumb and your second finger on the side of the nails and secure the finger at the bottom of it with your forefinger. Okay, we almost finished. Next, we're going to use the sponge file to file the nail surface one by one. Okay, finished. Let's use this kind of brush to clean the hand one by one. This is a cuticle nipper. We'll sprinkle some alcohol on the cuticle nipper and use this kind of cotton to clean the surface of the cuticle nipper. We'll just use this kind of cuticle nipper to cut some small, rough dead skin around the corner one by one. As you can see, after we cut the dead skin and shape the aponychium, we can still see some small and rough dead skin around the nail corner. So we'll just use this cuticle nipper to cut it again one by one. Pull it to the right side. Do not pull it in the opposite direction so that the skin around your nail won't get hurt. So please pay attention to the direction of the cuticle nipper. Pull it to the bottom part of the nail surface. Okay, let's turn to this hand. Choose the dead skin around the nail corner and pull it to the bottom part. It can make your nail surface look round and pretty. And more importantly, it can lay a good foundation for the nail design. The color powder will fit well on the nail surface. choose the dead skin around the nail corner and pull it back forward. Okay, let's turn to this hand. We'll just repeat the same steps as we did just now. And if you don't have this kind of cuticle nipper, you can try to find one at your home. So it will be very convenient for you to do nail design in the future. Let's cut it from the right corner of this nail and then to the left corner. Cut it slightly. Do not push too much strength on the cuticle nipper. When you are doing this at your home, try not to get your nail hurt. Put your thumb on the upper part of this cuticle nipper and then hold it with the left forefingers. This is the way that our nail tech is holding this cuticle nipper. Pull it slightly and pull it backward. Do not pull it in the opposite direction. Okay, we only left this little finger to be done. Let's turn to the left side of the nail corner. Okay, finished? We'll just sprinkle the alcohol on the cuticle nipper. Next, we are going to use this file to file the nail surface one by one. It is a sponge file. It is pretty thick. We'll just use the thin side of this file to file the nail surface one by one. It can make the nail surface look matte and a little kind of rough, so that it can lay a good foundation for the subsequent nail design. And when we dip the fingers into the color powder, it won't fall off easily. And these sponge files, you can find it on our accessory kit or our Amazon shop store. Use your thumb and your forefinger to hold the fingers so that the skin around the nail corners won't get hurt. Let's turn to this hand. We'll just repeat the same steps as we did before. File the nail surface one by one. Make it look pretty matte. Hold this finger with your thumb and your forefinger. tightly so that the file won't get your finger hurt. Okay, we are almost finished. Now we are gonna use this brush to clean the hands one by one. And if you don't have this kind of brush at your home, you can also find it on our accessory kit. It's pretty convenient. Now we sprinkle some alcohol on this cotton and clean the nail surface one by one. The function of this cotton can also remove the oil from your nail surface so that the color powder can fit well on the nail surface. Now our nail tech is checking the hand, see if there is still some dead skin left on the nail surface. We can use this cuticle nipper to cut the small dead skin out from the nail corner. As you can see, after this long process, the nail shape looks pretty. Let's check this hand. It looks much beautiful than before. Okay, now we are going to start to do the nail design. First, we'll use this kind of bond to clean the nail surface one by one. The function of this kind of cotton is also to remove the oil from your nail surface. Okay, as you can see from this video show, the dead skin is almost got removed from the nail corner. Now let's start to do the nail design. First, we are going to use the dip glue, number 1 base. Let's open the cap. Our nail tech is cleaning the table. Now we are going to start today's nail design. First, let's start to do the forefinger. Apply the base coat, brush it evenly and slightly, and dip it into this clear powder. As you can see, our clear powder can be used as a foundation powder. Okay. We'll brush this finger and dip it into the clear powder one by one. First, we need to lay a foundation before we put some color powder on these nails. So we'll just start to apply the base coat one by one and dip the fingers into the clear powder. If you don't have this clear powder at your home, you can also find it on our accessory kit. Okay, let's dip this thumb into the clear powder. Clean the nail surface one by one. Now we are going to apply another layer of base coat. Every time, brush it slightly and evenly. We'll just sprinkle the color powder on the nail surface. Dip the brush into the color powder and sprinkle the powder on the nail surface. And now we change into another color powder. Sprinkle the color powder on the bottom part of the nail surface. Brush the excess powder off. In order to make the color look more solid, now we are going to apply another layer of base coat and sprinkle the color powder again. Use your forefinger to tap the brush so that it can sprinkle the color powder on the nail surface naturally. Now we are going to use these two colors to do the ombre effect. One color is 35 and one color is number 20. Brush the extra powder off. Next, we are going to put some decorations on the nail surface. So first, we need to apply another layer of base coat in order to make the nail surface sticky. We'll use this brush to sprinkle the yellow glitter randomly on the nail surface. Just sprinkle a little glitter on the nail surface. Do not sprinkle too much of it, so that it will look more natural. If you found out that the base coat is already get dried, you can start to apply another layer of base coat. Because next, we are going to put some little shell-shaped decorations on the nail surface. Choose some shell-shaped decorations with this little tweezer and put it randomly on the nail surface. With the decorations of these little shells, this nail will just look pretty gorgeous and shiny. Now we'll put some colorful lines on the nail surface. Let the colorful lines stick well on the nail surface. Okay, we've almost finished this nail design. Next, we're going to use the clear powder to protect the color and the decorations. So we need to apply another layer of base coat. Brush it evenly and slightly. Do not get the base coat on the skin around the nail and dip it into the clear powder. Tap off the extra powder and brush it off. Okay, let's turn to this finger. Every time we start from applying a layer of base coat. Brush it evenly and slightly. Do not touch the cuticle area. And dip it into the color powder. Take it out and brush the extra powder off. Next, we are going to apply another layer of base coat. Brush it evenly from the middle left to the right. Do not apply too much base coat on the cuticle area, otherwise it will cause the lifting problem. Dip it into the color powder, take it out, and brush the excess powder off. Now let's turn to this finger. We'll use another color powder to do this nail design. Every time we start applying the one layer of base coat, dip the finger into the color powder. Wait it for almost 2 seconds, then take it out. And use this kind of brush to clean the nail surface. And in order to make the color look more solid and gorgeous, we need to apply another layer of base coat and dip it into the color powder again. Dip it into the color powder. Don't take it so fast. Wait it until the color powder gets well with the dip glue, so that the color powder won't get uneven on the nail surface. Now we are applying another layer of base coat. Brush it evenly and slightly from the middle left to the right. We'll just use the brush of the base coat to dip it into some yellow glitter, and brush it on the nail surface. This little yellow glitter will just make this nail look pretty gorgeous and much more shinier than before. Okay, next we are going to put some silver lights on the nail surface. Put it randomly so that it will look more natural. And as you can see, the silver lights are pretty fit to the color powder. Okay, now let's apply another layer of base coat. And dip it into the clear powder. Brush the extra powder off. Now let's turn to this finger. Let's start from applying a layer of base coat. Every time brush it evenly and slightly. Do not touch the cuticle area. And use this kind of brush. Dip it into the color powder and sprinkle the color randomly on the nail surface. And now we are going to dip the brush into another color powder and sprinkle it on the bottom part of the nail surface. Brush the extra powder off. And in order to make the color look more beautiful and solid, we're just going to apply another layer of base coat and sprinkle it again. Sprinkle the color powder on the upper part of the nail surface. And dip the brush into another color powder and sprinkle it on the bottom part of the nail surface. Brush the extra powder off. Now we are going to apply another layer of base coat. Because next we are going to use the clear powder to protect the color. Put some shell-shaped decorations on this nail surface. Put it randomly so that it will look more natural. Okay, now we are applying another layer of base coat. Brush it evenly and slightly. Do not touch the cuticle area. From the middle left to the right. And dip it into the clear powder. Tap off the extra powder off. Now let's turn to this thumb. Every time we start from applying a layer of base coat. Brush it evenly and slightly. And dip the finger into the color powder. Wait it for almost 2 seconds and then take it out. Brush the extra powder off. Now we are going to apply another layer of base coat. Brush it evenly and slightly so that the color powder won't get clumpy or uneven on the nail surface. Do not touch the cuticle area, otherwise it will cause the lifting problem. And dip it into this color powder again. Take it out and brush the extra powder off. Okay, now let's turn to this hand. We will just do the same design as we did just before. First, we start to apply a layer of base coat and dip it into the color powder. Brush the excess powder off. And then apply another layer of base coat. Every time brush it evenly and slightly from the middle left to the right. And then dip it into the color powder again. Take it out and brush the excess powder off. Now let's turn to this forefinger. Applying the first layer of base coat. Sprinkle the color powder on the upper part of the nail surface. Sprinkle it naturally. Then dip the brush into another color powder and sprinkle the color powder on the upper part of the nail surface. Brush the extra powder off. Now we are going to apply another layer of base coat. Every time, brush it evenly and slightly. Dip the brush into the color powder and sprinkle it on the upper part of the nail surface. Now let's turn to another color powder. Sprinkle it naturally and radiantly on the bottom part of the nail surface. Now let's use this kind of brush to clean the nail surface. Now we are applying another layer of base coat. Dip the brush into the yellow glitter and sprinkle some glitter on the nail surface radiantly. Do not sprinkle too much on it, so that it will look more natural. Now we are going to put some little shells on the nail surface. If you find that the nail surface is get dried, you can apply another layer of base coat in order to make the nail surface get sticky again. Put the shell-shaped decorations on the nail surface radiantly. The yellow glitters and the shell-shaped decorations will just look this nail design pretty gorgeous and much shinier than before. Now our nail tech is putting some colorful lines on the nail surface. readily. Okay, now we are going to apply another layer or base coat. Every time, brush it evenly and slightly. Next, we are going to use this clear powder to protect the decorations and the color. Cut the extra lines out. Now let's turn to this finger. We are going to apply the first layer or base coat. Dip it into the color powder. Take it out and brush the extra powder off. Applying another layer or base coat. Because next we are going to dip it into the color powder again in order to make the color looks more beautiful and solid. Every time, brush it evenly and slightly. Do not apply too much on the cuticle area. Dip it into the color powder. Take it out and brush the extra powder off. Now let's turn to this finger. Every time, start from applying a layer or base coat. Dip it into the color powder. Take it out and use this kind of brush to clean the nail surface. Applying the base coat again. From the middle left to the right. Brush it evenly so that the color powder won't get uneven or slumpy on the nail surface. Take it out and brush the extra powder off. Now we are going to apply another layer or base coat. Do not touch the cuticle area. Now we are going to use the brush of the base coat to brush some yellow glitters on the nail surface so that the nail will look more shiny. Brush it naturally on the nail surface. Next, we are going to put some silver lines on this nail surface. Put it randomly on the nail surface so that it will look pretty natural. And the glitter and the silver lines will just make this nail design looks pretty shiny. Now we are going to apply another layer or base coat. Every time, brush it evenly and slightly. And use this clear powder to protect the decorations and the color. Brush the extra powder off. Now let's turn to this little finger. Applying the first layer of base coat. Do not get the base coat on the skin around the nail. Dip the brush into the color powder and sprinkle it on the upper part of the nail surface. And now we are going to sprinkle another color powder on the bottom part of the nail surface. Brush the extra powder off. In order to make the colors look more beautiful, we are going to apply another layer of base coat and sprinkle the color powder on the nail surface again, so that it will look more solid. Dip the brush into the color powder. Sprinkle it radially on the upper part of the nail surface and dip the brush into another color powder. Sprinkle it on the bottom part of the nail surface. Every time when you finish to use the color powder, please keep the cap tightly well. Brush the extra powder off. Now we are going to apply another layer of base coat. We'll just put some little shell-shaped decorations on the nail surface. Put it radially on the nail surface so that it will look much more natural. Now we are applying another layer of base coat. And dip it into the clear powder. Take it out. As you can see from today's live show, the function of the clear powder is to protect the colors and the decorations and also the yellow glitters. So if you don't have clear powder at your home, you can try to find one on our Amazon shop store. It is included on our accessory kit. And because our dip powder is fast dry dip powder, it can air dry very fast, almost within 30 seconds, so that we don't need to apply another layer of activator to help it get dried. It can save you a lot of time when you do your nails at your home. This is one of the biggest advantages of our fast dry dip powder. Now we are going to use this e-file to file the nail surface one by one. The function of doing this e-file is that is in order to make the nail surface look more smooth, so that when you apply 2 layers of top coat, it will just make the nail surface look pretty shiny and smooth. It will also make the nail design look pretty gorgeous and beautiful. And because we just apply a layer of clear powder before we are doing this eval, so that you don't have to worry about that the color powder will fade out, or that the decorations will get out from the nail surface. That's the great charm of our clear powder. So it's better for you to get 1 jar of clear powder at your home when you are doing this filing and your nail design at your home. Okay, finished. Now we are going to use this file to shape the nail once again. Because we dipped the fingers into the color powder before, so now we are going to use this file to shape it into the round nails. As to this eval, you can also find it on our Amazon shop store. So as you can see, it will be very convenient for you to get one accessory kit at your home, so that you can finish the nail designs at your home much better. And please pay attention to the way that our nail tag is holding the finger. Use the thumb and the forefinger to hold the finger. So that the file won't get your nail hurt. Shape the nail one by one. Okay, we almost finished. We only left this finger to be done. Now we are going to use this thick file to file the nail surface one by one. The function of this filing process is to make the nail surface looks pretty matte, so that the nail surface will look more smooth when you apply the top coat. As to the filing tools that our nail tech is using in today's live show, they can all be found on our accessory kit. So just try to find one on our Amazon shop store. It's one-time use and very convenient. As to the base coat that we are applying in today's live show, every time when you finish using it, please remember that keep the cap tightened well because it is a super glue. If you don't keep it tightened well, maybe it will be difficult for you to get the caps open again. So just keep the cap tightened well. As to the color powder, every time when you finished using it, you have to remember to keep the caps tightened well again so that it won't sprinkle out. If you accidentally get the nail surface uneven or clumpy, you can also use this file to file the nail surface and get it smooth again. So this filing process is pretty important. And as you can see, because we used clear powder to protect the color and the decoration, after 2 times of filing, the colors is still kept well on the nail surface. So does the decoration. Okay, we only left 2 fingers to be done. Next, we are going to apply a layer of activator and apply 2 layers of top coat. Then we can finish today's nail layers of top coat so that the nail surface will get double shiny. Okay, finished. Now let's use this kind of brush to clean the nail surface one by one. This kind of brush is also included on our accessory kit. Now we are going to use this little cotton to clean the nail surface one by one. As you can see, after such a long filing process, the color and the decorations also kept well on the nail surface. Now we are going to apply a layer of activator. Brush it evenly and slightly. Do not apply too much of activator on the nail surface, otherwise it will be easy for you to cause the cracking problems. So just apply a thin layer of activator. And the function of the activator is to help the top coat get dried and double shiny. Now we are going to apply the layer of top coat. As you can see, the function of the top coat is to get the nail surface looks shiny. When we are applying the first layer of top coat, as you can see from this video show, the nail surface also is already get shiny. When you're applying the top coat, please pay attention to that. Wait for the first layer of top coat get half dried but still sticky. Then you start to apply another layer of top coat so that the nail surface will look double shiny. The timing is very important, so please wait until the first layer of top coat gets half dried but still sticky. Then you start to apply another layer of top coat. Okay, now let's turn to this finger. We start to apply the first layer of top coat. Wait until the first layer of top coat gets half dried. Then we start to apply the second layer of top coat so that the nail surface will look double shiny. Every time, brush the top coat slightly and evenly. Okay, now let's turn to this hand. We'll just repeat the same steps as we did just now. First, we start to apply a first layer of activator one by one. As you can see, in order to do today's nail design, we only apply one layer of activator because our fast dry dip powder can air dry very fast, almost within 30 seconds, so that we don't need to apply a layer of activator to help it get dried before we are doing the filing process. Now we start to apply a layer of top coat. Every time, brush it evenly and slightly from the middle left to the right, so that the nail surface will look pretty smooth. And because our activator is volatile glue, so that every time when you finish using it, just keep the cap tightened well, so that it won't get volatilized. Wait until the first layer of top coat gets half dried, but still sticky. Then we'll start to apply the second layer of top coat. Remember, the timing is very important. Wait the first layer of top coat gets half dried, but still sticky. Then apply the second layer of top coat, so that the nail surface will look double shiny and much gorgeous. You can control the time by yourself. Now we are going to apply another layer of top coat. Since the first layer of top coat is get half dried, brush the top coat evenly and slightly from the middle left to the right. Keep the cap tightened well because our top coat is super glue. Now we are going to put some vitamin oil around the nail. Brush the oil on the skin around the nail one by one. Okay, finished. Let's turn to this hand. We'll just put some oil on the skin around the nail corner. And press it with your hand. Okay, we finished today's nail design. So much for today's live show. Thank you for your watching. See you next time.